Opposition leaders, obviously, we've been talking a lot about them because this means that their strategy has to change in the short term and then probably in the long term. What are we hearing from them?
Well, yes, their strategy has to change because, you know, calculations were based on facing Justin Trudeau, and that has obviously changed. But as you heard, both in video and through statements, this changes nothing, according to Pierre Poilievre. He said that essentially, you know, what has really changed when everyone who supported the policies in the government, whether we're talking about MPs or cabinet ministers, will continue on, and many of them be leadership hopefuls as well in terms of leadership. So have a little listen to part of what Pierre Poilievre had to say.
So given that Liberal MPs and leadership contenders unanimously supported everything Trudeau has done, why dump him now, right before an election? Have they had a change of heart? Is it because they feel guilty that they doubled housing costs, hiked taxes, unleashed crime, broke immigration, forced a quarter of the population into poverty? No. They continued supporting Trudeau when he did all of those things. No, their only objection is that he is no longer popular enough to win an election and keep them in power. They want to protect their pensions and paycheck by sweeping their hated leader under the rug months before an election to trick you and then do it all over again.
Now, what's interesting is the message from Jagmeet Singh, the NDP leader, not entirely different in tone, also saying this changes nothing because it's not just about the leader, and a selection of a new leader will change nothing. And clearly both still positioning themselves as if, and we probably will be, in an election soon. So this is less about thanking Justin Trudeau for his service and more about still trying to push forward with their messages as we head into an election year. And that election, as I said, could be very soon. We also heard from Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet, who was asked when there is a new Liberal leader, if that leader were to approach the opposition and say, hey, actually, could we extend things a little bit, whether it's another agreement or somehow some other way to get things still progressing. He said no, non-confidence motion or some kind of non-confidence vote is the sort of first thing on the agenda, and it's time for an election.
Okay, and there's lots of reaction, obviously, Karina, from other parts of the country. What can you tell us about that?
Well, and interestingly, a lot of them from the names that we've been talking about all day about potential leadership hopefuls. One of the first out of the block was Mark Carney with a tweet saying, "Thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership, for your many contributions to Canada, and for the sacrifices you and your family have made for public service. Wishing you the best for your next chapters." And Chrystia Freeland as well, quite out quickly, but very brief. "I thank Justin Trudeau for the years of service to Canada and Canadians. I wish him and his family the very best." A little less brief from potential hopeful Christy Clark, who also thanked the Prime Minister, but then went on to say, "As a lifelong Liberal, I look forward to joining tens of thousands of Canadians to choose our next leader. This is the biggest opportunity in over a decade that we've had to grow our party and welcome new Liberals, including Canadians concerned about the future of our country. Let's seize it." And then François-Philippe Champagne also thanking Justin Trudeau for his dedication and service to our country for so many years, and really going on to talk about how his leadership and the government has set Canada in good stead, saying Canada can look forward to the future with confidence. And then we also have had reaction from people who aren't interested in the Liberal leadership. Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, put out a statement that actually doesn't even mention Justin Trudeau. He talks instead all about what the federal government has to do, regardless of the leader, in terms of facing Trump and the threat of tariffs. There's a tweet from Montreal Mayor Valérie Plante about how much of an ally Justin Trudeau was to cities, especially Montreal. Tweet from the Canadian, or a statement from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce saying, "Thank you for your service, but you made the right decision." A not so gentle tweet from Jody Wilson-Raybould saying that the PM did not sound like he wanted to go and was sadly not too gracious, but he is going. She does thank him for his service, but saying now that they can finally turn the page. a little bit more gentle from Jane Philpott, a former cabinet minister and quite close confidant of Jody Wilson-Raybould, saying it's an emotional day and anyone who serves, as the Prime Minister has, deserves people's thanks, that there was many things accomplished when she was in government and with the Prime Minister, and so thank you for that. And just to end off, Rosemary, Donald Trump has also put out a message on Truth Social, talking again about how Canada is, Canadians love the idea of being the 51st state, talking about trade deficits and subsidies, and that's the only reason Canada stays afloat is because of those things, and attributing Justin Trudeau's resignation to those truths in his mind, and talking about the benefits that he sees if we were to join forces with the United States and become one country. As you can see there, talking about how there would be no tariffs, no taxes would go down, and Canada would be totally secure from the threat of Russian and Chinese ships, and what a great nation we would be together if we became the 51st state. So, as you said, reaction from all corners, not just of this country, but others as well.